Hi dear friends, welcome back to the channel Geography with Bimal, and today, as you have seen now, the chapter is Physiography of India. This is the chapter number 3 from your geography part, and the video what we will discuss today is the differences of the North Indian rivers along with the South Indian rivers. When we will study the physiography in details now, then we will get all these things. But in your textbook, the question is like that: mention four distinctions or differentiation of the in between the North Indian rivers and the South Indian rivers. Anyway, we will go for these 8 differences so that we can write easily the 4 differences. Okay. Now you see, number 1, in case of North Indian rivers, all the rivers are perennial in nature. Perennial means the rivers where water is available for all the 12th month or for all the year. That is called perennial. Okay. Perennial means where water is available, water runs in available for the entire year or for the 12th month, and this is called perennial. Okay. Now you see, as we know, the source region of all the rivers, basically the rivers of the northern India, the rivers of the northern India, these are originates from the glaciers of the great mountain, Himalayan mountain system. That is why, as the glaciers are big and big, 3 to 5 square kilometer, the size of a glacier, and when all these glaciers melt, then the rivers becomes full of water during the rainy season as well as during the winter season. So these rivers, rivers from the North India, these are perennial. But where the rivers from South India, these are not perennial. These are during the winter season, all the rivers become dry. So these are called non-perennial. Number 1, this is very important. Then number 2, all courses seen distinctly. In case of the rivers, we know there are three stages of a river. That is initial stage, mature stage, and old stage. These 3 stages are very much seen along with the rivers of the northern India. Why? Because as you know, in case of the rivers of the northern India, the source is very much gigantic. So, and the slope is, or the gradient is very gentle, or the slope is very gentle. So a river, when it will flow through a gentle slope, then it will show the all the stages. That is initial stage in the mountain river, then mature stage on the plain state, and old stage during towards the mouth of the ocean or mouth of the sea. Okay. So in case of the rivers, that is belongs to this North India, all the stages are seen very distinctly. But in case of the rivers which are from southern India or South India, all these three stages are not distinct. Somewhere it is the initial stage is there, and ultimately the old stage is there. No mature stage is like to seen because of the relief or type of relief or the gradient or the slope, steepness of the slope. These are happening. Number 3, the rivers from northern India are navigable. That means we can go with the boating. We can go with the boating in case of the rivers that is from northern India, because rapids are very rare in these rivers. The rivers are flowing almost through the plain region. After crossing from mountainous region, they get the plain region like Brahmaputra, plain region like Ganga, then Indus. So these rivers are navigable. Say for example, in case of Brahmaputra, we have been seeing lots of ships are going on, boats are going on. So this is navigable. But the rivers, those are from South India. These are not, their relief is very much steep. Their gradient is very much steep. Their slope is very much steep. So it's not possible for the rivers from South India for navigation purpose. We cannot use these rivers for navigation purpose. Number 4, these rivers are newer in comparison to the rivers of the southern plateau region. Why? Because among the 4 physiographic distinct units, that is northern Himalayan mountain belt, then northern plain region, then Deccan plateau region and the coastal region, this Deccan plateau, I have told it in the earlier one video, no? This Deccan plateau originally is a part of Gondwana land. So from the age point of view or from the maturity point of view, this Deccan plateau is a older landmass in comparison to the other three features or other three physiographical units in India. So as the Deccan plateau is a older one, so the older river system will be older in origin in comparison to this northern India. There the rivers are basically new in origin. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, number 5, slow flowing. The rivers or the ditches of the river or the current of the river's water, these are very slow. Why it is slow? Because the speed of the river or velocity of the river or the current of the river will depend upon the gradient of the river. That means how much slope it is, how much the angle of slope, the surface where a river has been passing or had been going. So if you study the northern Indian rivers, these are the slope are very gentle. That is why their flowing is also very gentle in comparison to the rivers of the fast flowing rivers of the southern India. Their relief is very steep. Okay. Next, number 6, cannot generate HEP. HEP means hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric power cannot generate from the rivers belonging to northern India. Why? Because for this generation of HEP, we need a maximum current in the river system. We need a maximum velocity of the current system. But the rivers of this northern India, they have been flowing very gently, very politely all through the coast, except the mountainous region, except the Himalayan mountainous region. So they cannot produce HEP in comparison to they can generate HEP because there the strip is maximum, that the slope is maximum in these rivers. So may be small or the discharge may be rare, discharge may be very less in comparison to the rivers of the so-called northern India. Even then these rivers can generate HEP. Okay, clear? Next, there is a fertile lands or fertile valleys in case of the rivers of the northern India. So majority of the Indian population is concentrated on these fertile valleys. Why it is fertile? How it become fertile? Because the eroded materials, the transported materials at the time of flood, it spread out through the both the valleys of the river. So and ultimately it gave rise to the fertile land. So maximum concentration of population is in the fertile valleys of the rivers of the northern India, where it is not available because number 1 is this portion is totally a plateau. The soil of the plateau region is never become fertile like that of the plain region. This is from plain region, the Indo-Ganga Brahmaputra plain region, and it is from the southern plateau region. So the fertility of the soil in case of a plateau region is less fertile in comparison to the fertility of the plain area. Last but not the least, larger delta formation. The size of delta will be how much? That will depend upon the discharge of the water That will depend upon the discharge of the water. The river, those who are originated from this northern India or from Himalayan mountain system, they carry lots of water, huge water, and ultimately when they meet the sea or meet the lake or meet the ocean, then it gave rise to big, larger and larger deltas in the mouth of the river. But in case of these rivers from South India, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Narmada, Tapti, they cannot give rise such type of large deltas in the mouth because their discharge, water discharge is very less. And this was the video to compare the river system of northern India along with the river system of southern India. If you are please new now, then please subscribe. If it is liked by you, if you like this video, then you subscribe. Otherwise, please you make a comment. Thank you.